Do you know Bo Pete Jeffrey?
Yes.
How do you know him?
I'm sorry. He was married to my mom.
And he's not your father?
No.
Do you see the person you know as Bo Pete Jeffrey in the courtroom today?
Yes.
Can you please point to him and describe something he's wearing?
A blue shirt and a dress jacket.
Your Honor, may the record reflect the witness has identified the defendant?
So noted.
And if you need to take a minute, just let us know, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
How long have you known the defendant, Bo Pete Jeffrey?
Since I was 15, so 9 years.
And before your mom died, how often would you speak with your mom?
Almost every day.
Because she was living in Florida and you lived in Oklahoma, so you would just speak by phone?
Yes.
All right. Did she have her own cell phone?
Not at the time.
Okay. So what phone would you reach her on?
Pete.
Okay. And when is the last time you actually spoke with your mom?
The day before her birthday.
Okay. And when was her birthday?
November 5th.
She was the second witness called by the state. Her name is Jamie Curl, but several more witnesses were called as well. To get us all caught up on everything the jury's heard this morning, let me bring in now Court TV legal correspondent Julia Janae. She's joining us live from Ocala, Florida. Julia, good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon, Julie. It's been an emotional and intense day. It's only the first half day of this trial, but the prosecution has really started their case in chief off strong, almost a 1-2 punch inside the courtroom by not only bringing that emotional testimony from the daughters of the victim, both Jamie Curl, her older daughter, and Paris Riley, her youngest daughter, taking to the stand, but they also moved to the gallery after they testified and then had to witness the autopsy photos that were shown, really gruesome photos that affected them so much that they had to leave the courtroom. You could hear them sobbing. But I want you to hear a little bit more from the daughter that spoke today on the stand and just about what she witnessed while she lived with the defendant and her mother.
Did you ever speak with the defendant, Bo Pete Jeffrey? Okay. When did you speak with him? Around what date?
I spoke to him on the 5th. They didn't answer. But I spoke to him almost every day afterwards.
Okay. And did you ask him where your mom was? What did he tell you?
He would say that she's sick, or she's sleeping, or she just wasn't there.
Did the stories change every time you talked to him?
Yeah.
Now, your mom had a problem with drugs on and off in her life.
Yeah.
Had she ever gone missing for more than 2 to 3 days at a time?
No, she would always come back the same day.
All right. Did you keep trying to reach your mom over the next few weeks after her birthday?
Yes.
Did the defendant ever change his story and tell you that she had left?
Yes.
What did he say?
He said that she was going to do drugs. And then once he said that she was prostituting.
At some point during your conversations with the defendant, did he tell you to stop looking for her?
Yes.
What did he say?
He said, "Don't bother looking for her. Or don't worry about her no more. She's not coming back."
Did you keep looking for her even though he told you she's not coming back?
Yes.
And that was Paris Riley, the daughter of the victim, who did live with them both when she was 11, 12 years old, witnessed domestic violence in the home. But then after she moved out, she's 18 years old now, she was recounting her mother's birthday and trying to get in touch with her mother, but only getting those excuses from her stepfather. The victim's aunt also took to the stand today and said something similar about trying to get the defendant to show some concern about 3 weeks of this victim being missing. But also what really alarmed them is that he had already moved in with a new live-in girlfriend.
Boy, that's alarming too, Julia. And the prior instances of abuse. I mean, great for these prosecutors and fighting so hard to introduce that evidence through the witness you were just telling us about. I think that's going to be really, really key in this case for them to establish that this wasn't a mistake on the date in question. Can we talk, please, about the investigator's testimony then after we heard from the victim's daughters? And then there was a recording that was shared as well. This was a big piece of evidence that came in this morning. Could you recap that for us, please?
Julie, this recording took this jury back to 2018, and they actually got to hear the defendant's voice, how he sounded when his wife was still considered missing, and he was being recorded and questioned by investigators. He wasn't under arrest. He was driving in his car on the phone, answering questions, because this investigator with the Marion County Sheriff's Office was very concerned because family and friends were telling him, look, we don't know where she is, and she's never been missing this long. Take a listen.
She's been living with you since September.
Yeah, after she got out of this time.
Okay. And what happened?
She ain't never changed, sir. I mean, there's nothing changed. When she gets out, she comes home long enough to make sure everything's good, and then does it again.
So what's the longest she's gone missing for?
She was gone like 30 days before when she was at the start down here with these people, and then she runs off with other people. So I don't know, sir.
Okay, the family said she's never been gone more than 2 or 3 days, so either they're lying or you're lying.
No, she's been gone for about 20 days. I said that if she had been gone up to 30 days before, then somebody has to go find her, get her out, and bring her home to me for her to start all over again.
Gotcha. So, when's the last time she went missing for 30 days?
Sir,
When's the last time she was missing? You said she went missing before for 30 days. When was that?
when she was living in Stark, I used to live in Stark at the campground right here, but the storm tore it out in September.
So, how long ago did she go missing when she was missing for 30 days? How long ago was that?
Back in like September, October, or one of the chances before that. She's been in so much and been there so many times throughout 55 years old. And I can't keep up with her no more.
Now, this conversation went on for quite some time. It was really disjointed. You could hear the defendant, who wasn't a defendant at the time, going back and forth, not quite answering the questions of Deputy Batts there. But I do want to point out that the mentioning of the victim in the case, Lisa Jeffries, sometimes she's referred to as a wife during this investigation when they are questioning people, or the ex-wife. We know that investigators said that they found the divorce paperwork there inside the trailer that determined that the marriage had dissolved in October of that year. So just a few weeks before she went missing, and we know they were still living together in that camper, and that is where her friends and family knew as her residence, and that's where they went looking for her when they realized they weren't hearing from her.
I'm glad you pointed that out, Julia. So technically, Lisa Jeffrey was Bo Pete Jeffrey's ex-wife at the time, but they were still cohabitating there in the place where she ultimately was found dead. Julia Janae, thank you so much for all of your reporting. We will look forward to checking with you in just a little while.